Okay, welcome back everyone. Let's do a quick introduction here to the Module 4 Persuasive Business Messages, and this is the fact sheet for that. So let's go ahead and get through. Again, a little history of where we've been so far this term. We started off at the very beginning of the term with critical thinking. We moved into something that we need to do once we critically think, and that's organizing our thoughts, and we used outlining for our writing ability. And then based on the outlines, we created essays. Now, these were general essays. They were not typical English composition essays, but they were still essays based on the outlines. We moved then into the business writing. Now, the business writing is more factual based, more to the point. It's very clear. With routine messages, we get right to the point, and then others we move a little differently. But again, it is more concise than what we would say is normal English composition type of essays and types of writing. We then moved into some of the more fundamental types of business written correspondence, and the first is email, and then we also talked about memorandum. We talked about these together, more with a focus on the memorandum, but we talked about them together simply because emails and memos frankly kind of look similar in nature. They both have a to date from subject. One is, shall we say, electronic, which is the email, and the other is hard copy, the memorandum. Now, again, email can be used internally and externally, whereas the memorandums are strictly used for internal written communication. We then talked about routine business letters. Now, for introducing business letters, we picked routine because, well, majority, maybe about 90% of what you're going to be writing will be routine messages. Now, routine messages are those that request information, share information, provide information, things of that nature, the typical back and forth type of communications that we normally do. Routine messages, again, are front-loaded. Start with your purpose, followed by the facts, followed by the supporting information, and then a closing or a call for an action. We then moved on to negative business messages. Now, negative business messages, again, or bad news if you wish, you won't write them as frequently, maybe infrequently, but again, we need to know how to do this. Unlike routine messages where we actually front load, we need to start with some kind of a buffer, something to calm down the individual. We then follow it through with into the body with generally the purpose, followed by not necessarily what you can't do, but what you can do, and then at the closing, a call for an action, but a call for an action only related to an alternative that you may present. Again, negative messages can be in memos, can be in letters. The format, structure will be the same no matter what. Now we're going to move into persuasive business messages, and there is a video in the module, or excuse me, in playlist 5, which will provide you with full details. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about the Addies. There is the reading and viewing, as I just mentioned, in playlist 5. Take a look at it. I think it's about 12 minutes or so. Well worth reviewing and paying attention to. As far as the assignments are concerned, very similar to what we've done in the other modules. You now have the readings and viewings available. You also have a pre-discussion quiz, which is begins now and is due on the date shown on the screen. Next, we're going to have, when we return back from break in this particular case, a team persuasive business message application activity. Again, this is a persuasive message and a team-oriented. Give it a couple days to do that. When we're done with that, and you have a pretty good idea what's going on, we'll go ahead and we'll move it on into an individual persuasive business message assignment. Dates are shown there. There will be a strategy session. Again, date shown and the location for your use. That's it, folks. Go ahead now, move on and watch the specific video in playlist 5 of YouTube that relates to persuasive messages. Questions? Let me know. Thanks. Have a great day.